Right after needles and floss, my must-have favorite cross-stitch accessory is my Q-snaps. They are square plastic frames that you use to hold your fabric taut while you're stitching. They come in several different sizes. My go-to size is the 11-inch, although I also have the 8-inch and some larger ones. It's the 11-inch that I keep going back to time and time again. These are a matter of personal preference. I know a lot of stitchers like hoops, a lot of stitchers stitch in hand. I occasionally stitch in hand depending on my project, but I can never get the tension right in a hoop. Mounting fabric with Q-snaps is easy. You lay your fabric across the snap and then just gently stretch it to get the tension you want and snap these clamps into place. I go ahead and snap over my stitches. I do this with DMC and the other 6-stranded cotton flosses I use. I do it with the floss on the Riolas projects. I have never had a problem with it. Although if I was using a delicate specialty thread or metallics, I would probably put a layer of fabric between the snap and my stitchery. One of the things that I love about the 11-inch frame is that it is so versatile. Just about anything I want to stitch, I can stitch on the 11-inch frame. And like on this project where I have a lot of excess fabric hanging off of the side, what I will do is I will fold the fabric over on itself. So I'm still going to have a length hanging off here and a single layer that won't interfere with my stitching. And then I just snap over both layers. It keeps the fabric contained to a degree that I can stitch. I know that other stitchers tuck their fabric into grime guards. I have not invested in one of those yet myself. For now, this method is working for me. And if your project is too big for the Q-snaps, you can fold it over on itself, or you can tuck it into the elastic of a grime guard. If your fabric is too small for the Q-snap, I have got a really great trick that will help you make that work. And I have a video that'll tell you how to do this. This is one of the 5x7 Dimensions Gold Petite kits. And 5x7, you can try to force it to work with one of the 8-inch Q-snaps, but it is way easier to take strips of muslin, baste them around the edges to increase the size of your project, and then just stretch it and snap your snaps onto the muslin. I put these on with my sewing machine, and I use the longest basting stitch I have available, so when the project is done, if I want to, I can use my seam ripper and very easily remove that fabric to use it for another project. Muslin is really cheap, so you don't even have to reuse it to make it worth doing. You also don't have to use muslin. Any woven scrap fabric you have on hand should work just fine as long as it's a comparable weight to your Aida. It just doesn't always look as cute in your pictures when you use something with a really ugly novelty print. I have several sets of Q-snaps because when I first started using them, it was Black Friday, and one of the craft stores in the area that carried them had a coupon. And they had a coupon for 8 a.m. to noon, noon to 3, 3 to 5, and I spent the day doing my Christmas shopping and ducking back into that store every time I had a coupon that was eligible. I built my stash that way, and I have also picked up Q-snaps whenever I find them at an estate sale or a rummage sale. Once in a blue moon it happens, and twice now I have found whole bundles of them. So I've got a lot of random mix and match pieces. To remove the snaps from your fabric, all you do is slide it off the end. Mine are starting to get a little bit loose because the newest ones are going on 20 years old. but they have held up amazingly well, and I've done dozens of projects. Q-snaps are also interchangeable. Here I've got pieces from an 8-inch set and a 17-inch set. You can just snap them back together and make whatever combination of sizes you want. I don't usually stitch on a long skinny frame like this, but on this project where it has a long stretch of tablecloth with lots of color changes, it makes it easier for me to have a larger working area in the size that I need to use for what I am doing. There are some other things out there that are similar to Q-snaps. Personally, these that have the PVC joints on the corners, I do not like nearly as much because you can't slide the snap off of the corner. There are some on the market now that look a lot more like the actual Q-snap brand, but I have not tried those myself yet. Q-snaps are one of those things that you either like or you don't, and there are all sorts of ways to hold your fabric. For me, they work great. Thanks for watching. I'm Michelle, and this is my Romantic Tangle. For more cross-stitching tips and ideas, check out my cross-stitching tips playlist or my floss tube videos. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this all the way through, and I'll be back with more videos for you soon.